Hey there. How are you? I'm back again with a very, a video that will help you think, not only think about you, but if you're a parent, about your children, if you're single, about self-care. You can think about trauma in so many ways. And the first thing I want to say is that I'm an emotional and spiritual health coach. And really what I help people is to identify or realize that maybe the reasons that they struggle to have clarity, maybe they're overwhelmed, maybe they feel stuck, maybe they're stuck even in their faith, has so much to do with our hearts or our subconscious or our emotions or the way we think, all those things that people don't really talk about, but they hinder our growth. And so I've been doing something interesting this year about the challenging people, about breaking cycles, because really that's where it starts. Because if you don't have the desire to break your cycles, if you are content with the way things are, with the dysfunction, with the anger, with the violence, or with low self-esteem, or whatever it is. Some people just get married to pain, and they are like, this is me, this is my personality, will never change. Maybe this video is not for you. But there are other people who are like, how can I start really breaking patterns, cycles, behaviors, ways of thinking that I find in my family and which are hurtful. And so those people that think that way, they're called cycle breakers. They want to break the cycles. They want to make a change so that they don't suffer the consequences of wrong thinking, of abuse, of emotional neglect, of being stuck, of mindsets that are painful and hurtful, or making you make wrong decisions. There are people who are just tired, and those are usually my clients. Those are usually the people who are like, show me my way out of here. So those are the people I'm talking to in this video. Cycle breakers or trauma cycle. Trauma cycles. A trauma cycle is usually a concept we use when we are discussing or defining generational cycles of trauma, generational trauma that is passed from one generation to the other. Until trauma, the word trauma is probably being used more now in the last probably 10-20 years, but our parents, like my mom, didn't know. That older generation, everything looked normal until now. People are exposed. They are like, this is not normal, this is unhealthy. And because some things have hurt people generationally. There are people, there are families in the worst case scenario that are abusive emotionally, physically, the sexual abuse, all these things. There are families that pass anger down, the mindset, poverty mindsets. There's so much to break. I know I'm a cycle breaker, and I know that my children definitely are cycle breakers, because we have decided to set our own patterns, the things we believe in, the truth, not hiding things under the rug. And I am going to warn you, when you are a family cycle breaker, people are going to hate you, people are going to say you're different, but that's how you change cycles. Jesus was hated. He was the greatest cycle breaker. Anyway, let's not go there, because I can talk so much about Jesus being a cycle breaker. But yeah, so that's the concept. So how do you know that you have trauma tendencies? Because honestly, unless somebody points it, sometimes we just think, I have chronic anxiety, that's me, or that's our family. That's not normal. chronic. Being anxious once in a while when you're about to take an exam, when you're about to make a decision or something, or if you have somebody in the hospital or something, that kind of anxiety is a human experience, a normal human experience. But when you are chronically anxious, it's coming from a trauma from somewhere. And what is a trauma? A trauma is something that was done to you, and it hurt your soul. It hurt you, something done to you, and now you are hurt by it. It also caused you to distort, to have distorted thinking, the way you think about yourself, the world, and God. And usually, like I have said before, trauma actually does affect our relationship with God. It's very hard to be in trauma and be intimate with God. It also affects our relationship with ourselves and with others, definitely. Again, we're not going to go there because that's a whole video by itself. Or maybe I've done that video somewhere before. But some of the symptoms of trauma cycle is constantly, being on edge, feeling insecure, feeling like you're a bad person, feeling that there's something wrong with you, feeling not enough, feeling, perfectionism, being afraid to be found out, imposter syndrome, so many things that I've talked about in this channel. Those could, and most of the times, are because of trauma, because we believe something that maybe has been passed down, maybe it was passed down by our parents, and they behaved that way because also their parents passed that way of thinking, that behavior, that pattern to them, and so it's passed to you. Now I'm talking to you, okay? So because I'm talking to you, I want to tell you, you have the power to break the pattern. You have the power to break a cycle, a trauma cycle. You do have power. Like I've said, if you follow me on social media, if you follow me on TikTok, I talk about my testimony all the time, and I broke cycles. I've broke really unhealthy patterns that people for so many years around my community or around my family did not do, and I broke those cycles. It was hard, but that's why I'm here helping others, because I was able to go through that. And you too can break a cycle. You really can. You can, whatever cycle it is. And if you need help, I can help you start doing that. That's what I do. So you have the power. And I think other than that, I don't want to make this video very long, because I can start telling you how to do it. Or maybe I should tell you, maybe start telling you how to do it. First of all, you have to identify. You have to identify what are those patterns. What are those things that are actually harmful that you have seen in your family, within yourself. Maybe even you're the parent that has passed those cycles. Now we are starting to be self-aware. What are those? You have to write them down. You have to probably work with a therapist or a coach or somebody, an accountability partner, to point out some of these cycles. That's the beginning of it. The other thing is that once you identify that, you have to turn around, and most of the times by the help of somebody, because it's very hard to work these things by yourself, because the reason you're stuck is because you don't know how to get out of there. So I would recommend a coach, a therapist, somebody that can help you. And the second thing is to really reframe. Reframe means turning around, seeing things differently, considering, challenging those beliefs, all that. And then I always say that you have to start practicing the new way that you've come up with. So that is the brief of really starting to step out to break a cycle. You have to make a decision. You have to say, okay, I may not know exactly how I got here or even how our family got here, but I'm willing to take a step and bring this to a stop. And that's a good place to be, because once you do that, God is going to meet you there and He's going to show you. He's going to bring the right books to read. He's going to bring the right people to help you. But and before I end this video, I want to ask you, if you don't change the cycle, where will you be in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 4 years? Ask yourself. If you're stuck, if you have all these patterns that you're stuck in, where will you be? But also ask yourself, if I change, if I decide to take a decision, where will I be? And compare and think about it, daydream and see those two case scenarios. Maybe that I actually usually do that exercise with my clients, and I see they really get it. They are like, no, I can't see myself down this road in the next 10 years. I have to do something. So it's a call for action, but also to know that you can do it. You really can do it, because that's what it's all about self-development, about self-care, about being better than you were before. That's people are doing it, and with help, with the right community, you can do it. But what's your why? Oh my goodness, my why is my children, my granddaughter. Like, I don't want her to go through what I went through. So I'm gonna break that cycle, and hopefully I'll be acknowledged one time by my grandchildren or something. But or even if they don't, I'll have broken that cycle for my family, for the people that God is bringing for me to mentor, that I'll help them break cycles in their own life so that they can lead better lives and the kind of life that glorifies God. That's it. That's really it. And so I'm gonna end the video here. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, share the video, like, and if you need me to help you get unstuck and break some of the patterns that have made you stuck because of trauma, just remember that, if not me, go to somebody else that does the same thing, but do it for yourself, okay? And identify your why so that you can have the motivation to do it. Okay, peace.